Every year, more than 1 in 4 adults over 65 falls. That's not some rare event. That's 1 in 4 people you know. About 3 million end up in the emergency room because of it. And here's a part nobody says out loud: falls are behind something like 4 in 10 nursing home admissions. Break a hip from a fall, and roughly 1 in 4 people don't make it another 6 months. I guess it's often because being stuck in bed afterward opens the door to things like pneumonia. So that's exactly why I'm going to show you a 30-second test that tells you where you actually stand, plus a few easy everyday ways you can improve it, including the one move physical therapists actually use to test fall risk, which I'm going to save for last. So stick around to the end because there's even a moment later where I nearly go straight down. And I'll explain exactly why that happens to almost everyone who tries it, and it's not just me. So, right now, before anything else, if you're up to it, find a wall or a counter and go ahead, try to balance on one leg and time yourself. All right, let's go. So keep that number in your head because in a minute I'll show you exactly what it means for your age. I'm Steven, I'm 62, retired. Both my parents developed Alzheimer's, so I dig into anything that keeps people sharp and steady after 60, and I share what I actually find. You probably feel like your balance is fine. You're active, you get around okay, so why would it be any different? I felt the same way right up until I tried this test myself. And as you can see, sometimes I could do it, but other times I'm really wobbling. I'm having some problems. I think it's normal and it surprised me. Balance means it's not just weak legs, it's really not. It's a whole system falling out of sync. Balance isn't one thing, it's your eyes, your inner ear, and tiny sensors in your feet and muscles, all constantly talking to each other. When those signals stop lining up, you start grabbing railings without even noticing. You start looking down instead of around when you're out and about. You don't actually notice balance going, you notice yourself quietly avoiding things and calling it caution instead of what it actually is. Remember, I said I'd tell you what your number actually means? Well, here it is. People in their 30s and 40s usually hold one leg for a minute or more. By 50, that's down to about 45 seconds. By 70, 28 seconds. 80, under 12 seconds. That's not a cliff. It's a slow slide, and you're probably already on it without knowing. And this shows up in moments way more ordinary than a dramatic fall. Reaching for something in the kitchen on the top shelf, maybe carrying groceries in when both your hands are full and you've got nothing free to catch yourself with, or standing on a step stool, because almost half of all stool and ladder injuries happen from leaning too far, not the stool actually tipping. None of that, in a way, feels dangerous in the moment, but that's exactly the problem. Remember that stat that I opened with? How falls are behind 4 in 10 nursing home admissions? Well, that's not just a number to me because my mom fell in her mid 70s, broke her hip, she got pneumonia right after, and her dementia, which had already started, accelerated so fast after that fall that she was bedridden basically for the rest of her life. I'm not telling you that to scare you. Maybe you're already starting to think about this now and a little bit scared, but that's probably why you're still watching. I'm really telling you this because this test you just did is a free way to catch this early before it becomes anyone's story, including yours. I promised a few ways to work on this without adding anything to your day. So let me actually walk you through them properly instead of just giving you a list. Start with something you already do every single day, like brushing your teeth. All right, just stand with your feet together the whole time instead of shoulder width apart, the way you probably do it now. It sounds almost too small to matter, but your body has to work harder to stay upright, and you're getting a couple of minutes of real practice without adding a single thing to your schedule. Next, anytime you're standing in line anywhere, quietly shift your weight onto one foot just for a few seconds and switch to the other. Nobody around you will even notice you're doing it. That's exactly the kind of throwaway moment your balance system needs more of. Another, holding the kitchen counter, try a few side leg raises. Lift one leg straight out to the side, lower it slowly, then switch legs. This one targets the muscles on the side of your hip, specifically the ones that keep you from tipping sideways, which is usually the actual direction people fall, not forward or back. And this last one looks a little strange the first time you try it. It's a heel to toe stand, one foot placed directly in front of the other, like you're standing on a tightrope. Hold it for a few seconds on each side. It's a small, almost kind of silly looking move, but it's basically a miniature version of the exact balancing act your inner ear has to manage every single time you walk. None of those costs you extra time. You're just kind of hijacking time you've already spent standing around anyways. Now, as for the one that I saved for last, standing up from a chair 10 times in a row without using your hands. It sounds too basic to matter, but it's not. It builds leg strength and balance mechanics at the same time, which is exactly why physical therapists use it as an actual clinical test for fall risk, and it's not just an exercise. Once it feels easy, hold something heavy in each hand and do it again. So pick one or two of these, not all of them at once. Do those for a week and see what happens to your own number. And if you already use a cane or a walker, use it. That's not giving up. Whatever your brain tells you in the moment. Most falls at home happen specifically because someone skipped the device they were supposed to be using. Using it is the strong move, not the weak one. Don't forget that. So, okay, remember what I said at the start that there's a moment where I nearly go straight down? Well, here it is. I tried standing on one leg, but this time I closed my eyes. What happened? An instant wobble, and that's not being dramatic. That's real. I couldn't do it. It's hard. I lasted 2 seconds, 3, not much. And that happens to most of us. See what it happens to you. So, why does it happen? Balance runs on three inputs: your eyes, your inner ear, and tiny sensors in your feet and muscles, as I said before. And most of the time, your eyes are quietly picking up the slack for whatever the other two aren't catching. The second you close them, that backup disappears, and whatever's already weakened in the other two systems gets exposed all at once with nothing left to cover for it. That's why almost everyone finds this hard, not just people my age, almost anyone. If you want to try it yourself, go ahead, but only if you're standing right next to something solid, because this one can really put you on the floor in about a second. Did you last longer with your eyes open or closed? That gap tells you something real about which part of your system needs the most work. This was really never about a 30 seconds on one leg. It's about you stepping off a curb without thinking twice. It's about carrying your groceries on your own stairs. It's about walking down a flight without grabbing the rail out of habit when you're going down or up the stairs. That's what you're actually protecting here, not a number. It's the whole rest of your life running on your own terms. Balance isn't something you either have or you don't. It's more like strength. Use it, you keep it. Ignore it, you lose it. So how long did you last? Eyes open and eyes closed. Tell me below. I read every one because getting older is inevitable. Losing your independence isn't. Next week, a test hiding inside something you already do every single morning. That's putting your socks on, sometimes when you're standing up and without holding on. It sounds too ordinary to matter, but it's not. And what it uncovered about my own balance wasn't what I expected. Don't just get older, get better. I'll see you next week.